Hey guys, it's Tammy, and I just want to show you guys how to stitch in the round so that you are, like if you're stitching a hat, how to connect the stitches so that when you're stitching a hat or whatever, it is in the round. So you have to use the sticks that have, or the needles that have the loop. So, and why can I not remember what these are called? I'm working on a hat and I'm doing a video on this too, but these are circular needles. Why can't I remember that? So there's a couple really cool things about circular needles, and one of them is the fact that you can stitch like something really long with circular needles, and you can do, like, let's say I wanted to make a 24-inch wide scarf. Now I don't need that to be connected in the round, but I would like to use the circular needles because it would allow me to have an easier way to stitch all of those without having to worry about having 24-inch or even longer, because you would really want a little longer, needles, because you want your needles, you want all of it to fit on your needles. And this would be a great way to do that. And I love these interchangeable ones because you can literally change the length of this wire that goes between. Now this one is, these are from Knit Picks, I believe, and there's a little key, and I've done a video on how to change these out, but you can interchange the needle size, but you can still use the same cord if you want to. And that's kind of nice because you can buy, let's say I like to start projects and I don't always finish them before I start my next project. Let's just say that is hypothetical because, we all know that's not true. Cough, cough. But let's say I like to do hats mostly. And, guys, I'm doing hats for charity, so I do like to do a lot of hats. And I like to do them in the round. So I need my circular needles to do that. So to do that, or to have what I need, I can buy more than one cord, but use different size needles to attach them. So I can do one hat that maybe needs these 15 millimeter or size 15 needles, and I could do another one that might just use size 7 needles or whatever. I can make it whatever I want, but I can use the same length of cord as long as I have more than one of those cords. Or I could just do it on a longer cord if I wanted to. So there's lots of great things about these interchangeable ones. Now there are other interchangeable ones that are metal or that are wood. There's so many different kinds that you should look and try to compare and do some searching for yourself and research to figure out what you like best. Now, I like these. I don't love these because I'm not crazy about the cord itself. It's not very bendy, and it seems like it sometimes gets caught. So there are some things that I don't like about this particular set, but the thing I did like about it was that it was about $60 and I got everything I wanted. So that was nice, but I will probably invest in a different set sometime in the not too distant future. But let's see, I'm going to count these: 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 33, 36, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, and I need 48, so I have to do one more. Pretty good. Okay, so now I'm ready to knit these together. So I want to take my working yarn and have that in my right hand. And then I just kind of spread this out and I put my end that I'm going to be knitting onto on the left hand side. So it forms a nice O if I put them all together. Now make sure that you aren't using your extra yarn, your tail. Leave that alone. So I'm kind of holding that in my right hand as I hold the stick. So that's something important. Another thing that's important is that you make sure that all of the the bottom part forms like a braid. You want all of the braid to be facing the same way. So I like to put it all on the inside of my needles like this. You don't want them twisted, which would look something like that. It doesn't even want to twist on this one. So make sure that they're all facing the same direction, and then you're about ready to start. The only thing I would recommend is to also use a stitch marker, because that will tell you for sure when you've come to the end of a row, so that you can count your rows. You could also kind of go by the tail. You know that the tail is hanging off where you first started, but sometimes that's harder for me, and I like to have a stitch marker. So I just put one of those on there, and then to start stitching, you just literally go into a knit stitch just as you would if you were stitching back and forth. So knit stitch, and then I'm going to just do another knit stitch on this one, and you can see how now they are connected. It's not a separate row now, it's all in the round. So, and this separates them, and you can see how that's a little bit further away than, let's say, these. See how I can pull that further away? As you're knitting, that will get tight and you won't even be able to know that that happened. But now I need to do purl stitch. So I'm just following my pattern for this, but I just wanted to show you guys how to start their knitting in the round and what that meant exactly. And you can do it right from the very beginning after you've casted on. And it doesn't matter what method you use to cast on, you can use whatever method you like. And then the trick is, as you're knitting, you will be pushing these down and pulling these up, just kind of at the same time. And you get to do it in a way that you don't even really realize that you're doing it. You just kind of go for it and it works. So it's kind of cool how it just becomes one little movement, and you just kind of notice it as you're knitting that, oh gosh, I need more stitches on this side, and you just kind of start pulling, and then you're like, oh gosh, this is kind of getting full in my hand, and you just move them along as you knit, and that will create your knit in the round. And it's super handy for hats, especially for anything that you want to knit as a circle without having to make a seam. You could do it for sweaters. You would obviously need a longer cord, or you could do it for anything, like I said, that you would want to do in the round. Now, the interesting thing with this is that when you're doing this, like let's say you need to make sure that you're following a pattern that is for the round, or that you have converted the flat pattern to a round pattern, because if it tells you to do a purl stitch and you're doing it on the round, you might really need to do a knit stitch. And I'm not going to get into that because that's kind of confusing, and I'm not even, I've tried it once and I was successful in changing a pattern from a flat to in the round, but I don't want to, I mean, it was super simple, so I don't want to tell you that I am an expert at that anyway. But just make sure that when you're doing a pattern in the round, that you're following a pattern in the round. So you just need to double check on that. But that is all that you need to do, and I thought that I would show you so that you will know and you can do it too. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope that that helps someone, and until next time, happy knitting or crafting or whatever it is you like. And I can tell you that I have only been knitting for a few months and I love it. Well, I guess half a year now, but I really, truly, it is so nice. And most of the time I can do it without thinking, and it's kind of a mind release for me. I can think about other things, or I mean, now if I'm following a pattern that's pretty intense, I have to pay attention, but otherwise I can pretty much just go, and it's so nice. Purl, purl, knit, knit. All right, thanks so much. And I am doing this hat pattern as a knit with me, so check that out too if you are so inclined. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.